On any Sunday, you can take a car ride through southwest Ohio and see tree-lined byways, covered bridges, the Little Miami River, and scenic bicycle paths. Nestled in a valley along the Little Miami River sits the village of Oregonia. Most days, life in the village is fairly quiet. A restaurant named the Little River Cafe is operating in a building built in 1874. This building has served as a train station and post office. A section of the Little Miami River Bicycle Trail follows the old railroad course along the river. Just east of Oregonia is Fritz and Helen Powell's farm. It is a beautiful place, close to the river and bike path. At this time of the year, the trees are in their best fall foliage. Even the horses understand how peaceful and quiet it is. Oregonia is one of the oldest towns in Ohio. It was the Little Miami Railroad and the Little Miami River which first brought a thriving community to Oregonia. The town was first called Freeport and then changed to Oregonia in 1882. Oregonia had its heyday well before World War II. A century ago, the community had a booming river economy with its own school, 3 churches, a flour mill, 3 general stores, and the French Brothers Creamery Station. The Creamery Station faced east on Corwin Road, directly behind Oregonia's United Methodist Church. You can see the church's steeple in the background of this picture. The Oregonia School was to the south. You can see the school's woodshed on the left. Oregonia currently has a population of 148 people. Today, the major buildings are the post office, Hall's Market, River Spirit Art, United Methodist Church, and the Little River Cafe. Once each year, on the second Sunday of October, the village roars to life as thousands of motorcycling enthusiasts and spectators descend on Oregonia for the famed Devils Staircase Hillclimb. Long before reaching Oregonia, one runs into a parade of old and new motorcycles. This is an event not only to see old friends, but also to show off your bike. People line the 2-lane country highway to enjoy the sunshine, a cold beer, and a never-ending line of motorcycles. Some of the riders come as far as West Virginia for a one-day trip just to see the vintage motorcycles. Glistening chrome from motorcycles can be seen in every conceivable parking spot throughout Oregonia. Although the bikes did attract attention, individuals seem far more interested in live music, food, beer, and the people watching opportunity. Remember the church in the center of Oregonia? It quickly fills up as a parking lot of motorcycles. The quiet street across from the church is now the center for one of the many parties. Invitation only, and you have to be riding a bike.
I claim them when I do.
Remember the quiet bike path in an earlier picture? This is how it now looks on the second Sunday in October. How would you like to be on a bicycle trip down the bike trail and run into this? Remember the Little River Cafe? This is the scene before the hill climb even finishes. And the field where the horses were grazing, it is now filled to the edges with every kind of motorcycle ever built. A sea of Harleys, Hondas, Suzuki is as far as the eye can see. This is the first indication of the enormity of this event. An aerial view provided by the Dayton Motorcycle Club shows a small portion of the event. Yes, some people do come in cars, but there is special parking if you ride a bike. And once you have entered the gates, you can now go either to the observation hill or up the staircase hill. At the top of the staircase is a pond that comes into play for out-of-control motorcycle hill climbers. At the entrance gates, you are presented a ticket that reminds you that the event is dangerous. You are there at your own risk, and everyone is absolved of all liability. Over 10,000 people come to the staircase. The tickets are $15 apiece. Another 10,000 plus remain outside the gate to party. A party atmosphere fills the canyon, which shelters the Devils Staircase Hillclimb. On the shaded trail leading to the 490-foot hill, people in black leather pants, jackets, and boots stroll along the vendor booths, checking out each other's tattoos and looking for a place to sit and watch the race. It is truly a people-watching event. The main attraction on the trail is a t-shirt tent. Each year there is a different graphic on the t-shirt and sweatshirts.
The first money for this event. This event pays probably better than any other circuit in the United States.
There is no special pass needed for the pit area. You get the opportunity of walking through it to get to the hill. Here you can visit with riders and examine their bikes. Two major modifications made to the bikes are the extension of the swing arms by as much as 9 feet and the addition of chains to the special made tires. Between runs, mechanics and racers work under tents, fixing engines, scraping mud from the grooves in the wheels or under the tire chains. All the race bikes are custom built with special motors and pistons to handle the nitromethane fuel. Most are also equipped with stronger rear shocks. Some of the riders get their bikes to the event in the back of their pickup truck. Others have fancy trailers and tool sheds on the back of their RVs. The rider with the sunglasses is Tiger Strand, the top hill climb competitor. Also pictured is Robbie Peterson of Yorba Linda, California. He won the title of World Hill Climbing Champion. A record number of 51 entries were on this year's program. Before one sits down on the observation hill or climbs the staircase, you have to get some refreshments. The only thing served is Miller Lite in gallon milk jugs. Miller Lite is nice enough to bring 2 semis to the hill climb. On each semi are numerous taps to fill the gallon jugs. Everyone shares so the beer never gets warm. Yes, there are facilities on the hill. The lines here are mostly women, while the men find other, more scenic places to frequent. The treacherous hill is aptly named in a punishing sport that attracts a special breed and demands grit and stamina. No picture can justly show the steep layout of this hill. Devils Staircase features a series of step-like jumps at the 15, 40, and 70-yard marks. The jumps have varying degrees of slope from about 45 degrees to almost vertical. The motorcycles on the way to the top of the 490-foot hill can reach speeds up to 80 miles an hour and can sail up to 100 feet. Rooster tails of mud and rock will be thrown over 50 feet into the air and most of the time lands on spectators on the side of the hill. The first rider up the hill is Tiger Strand from Johnstown, Pennsylvania. He has received this honor by being the point leader in the extreme class for the last 10 AMA hill climbs this year. He has also received the honor of having the number 1 plate on the front of his bike. He will be riding a Yamaha R6 base hill climber. So that we can understand more about hill climbing, let's bring Tiger back and start him over again. The mechanic is fanning Tiger to keep the nitromethane fumes from the engine from intoxicating him. It is hard enough to go up the hill straight without also being high at the same time. The starting block is used to give the rider balance and that extra push to get the bike going. You can always tell first-time patrons. Behind the starting fence seems to be a great place to see the riders take off and then to photograph them going up the hill. The problem is that about 30 seconds after the rider leaves the gate, the patrons are covered with dirt, mud, or dust. Some people have even been known to get a rock in the face. The rider backs his bike up against the backstop, better known as the log. Between the log and the timing light is 25 feet of runway to get the bike up to a speed to get him up to first level. This is the only level surface that the rider will see. Tiger sets the pace by climbing the hill in 7.862 seconds. Each rider gets 2 runs, and the best time is used. No practice runs are allowed on any part of the hill within 10 days prior to the event. The second rider up the hill is Ryan Keeble from Rhode Island. He is riding a Honda. The purse depends on the gate and has been around $30,000 to $50,000 in past years. The winner receives around $3,300. The Devils Staircase usually has one of the biggest purses on the AMA circuit. Next is Scott Campbell from Sissonville, West Virginia, riding a Honda. He made it up the hill in 8.987 seconds. Number 95 is Adam Dolston of Plainville, Michigan. On his Kawasaki, he climbed the hill in 9.764. Not all the riders make it up the hill, but as soon as there's trouble, the Dayton Motorcycle Club members are there to help. Some of the accidents in prior years have even been dramatic scenes for the spectators, as this one photographed by David LeBeau. This rider had trouble staying on at the top of the hill. It is hard to believe these riders will be coming back up the hill again in just 30 minutes. At this year's hill climb, only one rider was injured, and that was just a broken ankle. The Dayton Motorcycle Club members are well trained for all disasters. Before each race up the hill, the riders work with their mechanics on a strategy to climb the hill.
This club has worked very, very hard to bring you the very, very best.
It is then time to push your bike to the start line. Yes, right through the patrons. This is Kurt Snelling from Cincinnati, Ohio, with his Honda. His time was recorded at 10.765 seconds. This is Ryan Thibault. Again, because of his first try, he jumped his bike over the finish line timing line. His time this time was 8.363 seconds. This is number 86, Jay Bedlacko from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Their riders are great promoters of the sport and are always willing to give an autograph. This is number 80, Nathan Redmond from Rochester, Minnesota. He's riding a KTM and made it up the hill in 8.3 seconds. Number 371 is Anthony Ely from Indiana. The announcer that you have been hearing in the background is from the Dayton Motorcycle Club and is Bob Moore. Next up the hill is number 55, David Pierce, from Baltimore, Maryland, riding a Kawasaki. His time is 9.568 seconds. Next is Jeff Thomas from Greenwood, Indiana, riding a Honda. He finished 6th with a time of 7.862 seconds.
Let your way on down there. Where'd you go?
Number 104 is Colin Guy from California, riding a Suzuki. He makes it up the hill in 8.608 seconds. The hill is so steep that some of the ladies need a helping hand to negotiate the near vertical hill. Others just like to look up and enjoy the view. This is number 51, Harold Waddle from Nebraska, riding a Honda. Harold finished 4th with a time of 7.738 seconds. Here's the second place winner, Phil Lahart from Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania. He is riding a Triumph and climbed the hill in 7.348 seconds. Next is number 53, Kenny Reef from Lebanon, Ohio, riding his Honda. He climbed the hill in 10.061 seconds. His ride will finish off the extreme hill climbing class. At the hill climb, everyone has a camera. Some of them get great shots, while others tend to miss the action, but just by a little bit. The American Motorcycle Association's U.S. Hill Climb Championship concludes at the traditional season-ending venue, the Devils Staircase. Fans of the sport of hill climbing follow the 11 hill climb races all around the eastern United States, including Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and New York. Fans come to these events to see the races, but they also come to party. The Devils Staircase is run by the Dayton Motorcycle Club. The Dayton Motorcycle Club was founded in 1910, making it one of the oldest clubs in the United States. The clubhouse is located in northwest Dayton on Stony Hollow Road. Off to the right of the clubhouse, you can see the motocross track. The club sponsors the Southwest Motocross Series. The 3 summer event series brings in riders of all ages. The proceeds for all of these events goes to support the Special Wish Foundation and the Big Brother, Big Sister Foundation. The history of the club is fantastic. For example, Orville Wright was the honorary starter to competition rider Arthur Davidson in their 1909 race at the Montgomery County Fairgrounds. Due to actions at their race at Troy in 1948, the club had to find a new spot for earning revenue. One of their members had a small airplane, which he flew all over southern Ohio. During a discussion at one of their club meetings about hill climbing, he heard there were some good hills in Warren County. That is how they came to contact Rick Powell about using his farm for a hill climb in 1948. For 50 weeks a year, the Devils Staircase Hill and fields look like any other farmland in southwest Ohio. It takes all the members of the Dayton Motorcycle Club and numerous friends to get the site in shape. A team of weed-whacking volunteers cover the hill and fields to clear brush, weeds, and trees. Once in a while, a local resident has to be relocated. The farmers' animals are penned up to keep them safe. A bulldozer is used to restructure the hill each year. and make improvements to the rest of the property. Two semis are brought in and put in place. They hold all the tools, signs, and chalk dust needed to make this a successful event. Overseeing all these activities is Fritz Powell, owner of the farm. Protection and parking fences are put up and trash picked up. Trees are trimmed back so spectators can get to the hill easier and not miss any of the exciting rides up the hill. A bobcat is used to pick up the trash, move equipment, and level dirt where the stream has washed it away. Priority 1 is to get the porta potties in place so they are convenient to all of the guests. The beer semis are rolled in and strategically placed so no one has to go very far to get a cold gallon of beer. The grid lines are put onto the hill and the distance markers are secured into the soil so the officials can tell how far a rider went up the hill before coming off his bike. A rider does receive points even if he does not get to the top of the hill. Walking in from Oregonia, you can hear the announcer over the loud system. This is because it is wired to be a truly loud system. As we get closer to race time, the Medic 1 crew arrives to handle any emergency. The trophies for the winners have to be transported to the hill on the back of a quad. And of course, there is champagne for the winners. You can feel the excitement start when the hill climbers and their bikes start to arrive. Each hill climber is required to sign a release form to assure up front who is responsible in case anyone gets hurt or property is damaged. By this time, the vendors' tents have been put up and filled with merchandise. There are leather clothes for sale. The t-shirt and sweatshirt tent fills with fans of the Devils Staircase. And most importantly is the food tent. You can just imagine how many hot dogs and hamburgers are sold, much less the cans of pops being sold to designated drivers. And if the weather turns cold, coffee is one of the largest selling items. As the spectators start to arrive, some of the club members direct traffic, while others sell tickets. There is always room for an RV or a black school bus with flames on it. The county sheriff helps maintain traffic and a safe family environment around the hill. As the race grows near, the announcer, Bob Moore, climbs into his chair. The Motor World cameraman is in place to photograph the event for a national audience. A couple of the club members patrol the rear road to the top of the hill. This is the path that the hill climbers use to come down the hill after their last run. Other members of the Dayton Motorcycle Club check each bike before it goes up the hill to assure all the regulations are met. Club members keep track of both times of local and national rankings. After a long day, tearing down the signs seems a lot easier than putting them up. And the treasure is left to pay all the bills. Back to the hill climb. We are now featuring the unlimited hill climb class. First off is number 7, Paul Koch, riding a Harley Davidson. He is from Michigan. He went up the hill in 11.182 seconds. During the downtime, when riders are not climbing up the hill, some of the patrons hand out necklaces to the ladies, while others display their foot-long mustaches. Next up the hill is number 5, Phil Hybels from Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania, on his Triumph. He placed 3rd with a time of 7.342 seconds. This is number 18, Ryan Osterman from New Hampshire. He is riding a Kawasaki, placing second in the Pro Sport Hill Climb class with a run time of 9.406 seconds. And our last rider up the hill is number 78, Kit Koch from Michigan, riding a Suzuki. His time was 8.733 seconds. To the winners go the trophies. Even the next generation of hill climbers, the winners' sons, need to help in carrying these trophies to the car. It is time to open a bottle of champagne and celebrate a long, hot summer and fall of hill climbing. Remember, with a total of 2 runs up the hill, these hill climbers spent 16 seconds on the hill today. Motorcycles in the streets, on the hill and in the air, beer in gallons, color in the trees, and cops on the bike trail. What more could anyone ask for on a sunny Sunday afternoon? Some spectators climb up on the top of their RVs to get a better view of people leaving, while others cheer them from the side of the road. In the end, we are all brothers and sisters. See you next year on the second Sunday in October.